warm welcome to our election special To The Point, where we follow the top leaders of the country on the campaign trail. This week we are in the holy city of Punjab, that's Amritsar, which is witnessing one of the high voltage campaigns of the country. Let's follow BJP stalwart Arun Jaitley on the poll turf, who's pitted against Congress's Amarinder Singh. Amritsar is witnessing a battle royale in 2014 Lok Sabha elections. The poll fight has become a clash of titans, featuring leader of the opposition in Rajya Sabha and BJP candidate Arun Jaitley against former Punjab Chief Minister and State Congress leader Capt. Amarinder Singh. Traditionally a Congress stronghold, Amritsar has backed BJP's Navjot Singh Sidhu since 2004. But this time, it's all about one man, Arun Jaitley. For Jaitley, the foray into a direct electoral contest will be a tough one, given the fact that he comes with the outsider tag in a constituency dominated by Sikh voters. This is your first election. You've previously said that you've seen elections from the back room, but this is a time when you're sitting on the driver's seat. What has your experience been so far?
No, I have not only seen it from the driver's seat, I have sailed many ships also.
Okay.
So I've organized elections, I've been a part of mass campaigns. It's just that I'm contesting myself for the first time.
Okay.
So that you have to personally look after the nuts and bolts of the constituency, which I earlier never used to look at.
Okay. But sir, looking at the way the contest is shaping up, when initially your name came up that you're going to fight from Amritsar, you didn't have a contestant. But then all of a sudden, Captain Amarinder Singh jumped into the fray. And now people are looking at it as one of the most keenly watched contests. How is it really shaping up? Because people still there is a perception that it could go either way.
Well, it's a keen contest, and I have not the least doubt in my mind that I have a clear advantage in this context, and I'll win and win comfortably.
But what makes you so confident about
You see,
victory?
there are two factors. The entire national trend is against the Congress and with the BJP.
Okay.
The whole country wants to see Narendra Modi as a Prime Minister. This is not an isolated island, that it is not influenced by the rest of the national factors. Of course it is. There may be some local factors here and there, and if you have a former chief minister contesting, then a heavyweight comes into existence. But that's only marginal.
But it's also seen as a contest between the local issues and the national issues.
Well,
like
that's
Amarinder
because I'm contesting for India's parliament,
Okay.
and Captain Saab is probably contesting a municipal poll. That's the way we think.
Right.
He probably has no vision on India's politics.
Okay.
Or national issues. Therefore, he's always reluctant to speak on them. He prefers a tu-tu-mai-mai debate.
Okay.
I prefer a more national debate. I take up local issues. I've given a vision for Amritsar. I've given a vision on drug addictions. He's only into exchange of allegations, attack on personalities. He can't rise above them.
But so when this is an election where you're saying you're fighting with a national vision, you don't think that the local issues here, which we have been talked about, they do matter? They could play a spoiler as well?
They do matter. They have an impact, and therefore you have to address them. But then local issues also have to be addressed in the context of a solution to the local issues. They don't have to be addressed in the context of a personality-based tu-tu-mai-mai.
Okay.
Which is something which is his core competence.
But so you're also seen as an outsider in Amritsar. How have you really contested
Not the
that
least.
charge?
I have an ancestral root in Amritsar. He's an outsider here.
Because he was the one to go and say that you
see,
bought a house just because to
Obviously, he hasn't even bought a house. So people will have to go to Patiala to meet him. Okay. And when you go to Patiala, as I've said, he's most inaccessible. At least on this side of the border, he's always been inaccessible, even when he was the chief minister.
Okay.
Therefore, he's not going to be accessible here. He knows he doesn't have to win. So he doesn't have to buy a house. I know that I have to win, I have to buy a house, I have to have a residential base here. And therefore, I'm serious about it.
But sir, coming to Amritsar's development, we've seen that Amritsar has been with BJP since 2004 when Sidhu was here, and not much work has been done.
Not the lead. That's actually not correct. I can see this.
Sidhu was always seen as somebody who was always absent from the constituency.
You see, I have seen a lot of improvement in Amritsar. I've been coming here since childhood. This is my grandparents' home. This is my mother's home. Every entry to the city is now a highway, a 4-lane or a 6-lane highway. Within the city, you have many flyovers. You have elevated roads.
So you don't agree with what the people are saying, that Sidhu has not worked for the constituency?
Let me just complete. You can actually see that development which has taken place. What you need is many roads have to be relaid.
Okay.
At least 10 more flyovers are needed, the old Bandari Bridge and things like this.
Right.
And you need 1 or 2 more elevated roads.
Okay.
That's the need of the city.
You in the manifesto, Modi ji had talked about the 5 T's of trade, talent, tourism, and you're trying to replicate all that for Amritsar.
That is because you see, this is a holy city. It's a center of religious tourism, and therefore, if we can double or triple the tourism, you can double or triple the tourism-related incomes. Similarly, on the border of Pakistan has been a disadvantage for the city. So, if you can facilitate the opening up and the expansion of the international border trade, you can add to the economy. I call tourism and border trade as 2 low-hanging fruits, which are easily achievable, which will do a lot of good to this constituency. And then I see probably a dream, very challenging. Can we get industry back? This was also an industrial town.
But so what is the reason, according to you, why many industries have not been able to come up in Amritsar?
You see, the reason why industries have closed down all over the country is one. Unless India goes in for low-cost manufacturing, India will not grow.
That is not happening.
So if the Vajpayee rate of interest was 7% and the Manmohan Singh rate of interest is 14%, the cost of money goes up. The cost of electricity goes up because of the coal scam. Infrastructure doesn't improve. Then obviously your products are going to cost more. And if your products cost more, you don't buy costlier products when a cheaper one is available from outside the country.
But sir, are we really talking to the future finance minister now?
No, you are talking to a candidate from Amritsar, and that's all I am at the moment.
No, because you're talking about the low-cost manufacturing, how you can develop trade, all those things. Many people, I mean, their Akalis are already projecting you as the future deputy PM
these are all
finance
pats on the
minister.
back that people get.
Okay.
These are all pats on the back that you get when you're a candidate.
But sir, you yourself must be prepared for this kind of a job. Obviously, you're going to occupy
I
an
am
important
prepared
position.
for any kind of job provided we are in government and we are able to throw out this, the present government which has completely failed.
Achha, Mr. Jaitley, many people are saying that since Sidhu was mostly absent from the constituency, his absence and the anti-incumbency would not be a drag on you the way you are going out to the people.
I think he used to come. He had some local issues. And I don't want to go into them. He's a very dear friend of mine. I am his well-wisher. And I respect his emotion. But I do feel that we as public representatives have always to be easily available to the electorate.
But sir, he's not campaigning also for you.
He has
What are
his
the
own
reasons?
issues, which he has stated. I don't want to discuss them. I don't want to get into them.
But sir, I mean, because of the estranged relations with the Akalis, he didn't get a ticket?
No, in fact, I personally requested him if he wanted to contest Amritsar.
Okay.
Then the party offered him, Rajnath Singh ji also offered him. We offered him at least 3 more constituencies.
Okay.
He preferred to campaign, and I'm sure we have a role in place for him.
So Amritsar is a place which sees about 65% of population of the Sikhs. And again, this whole debate on the Blue Star operation has come up. Why do you think these sentiments like these are again
Well, you
being
see,
waked up
it's
in
absurd.
2014?
Captain Amarinder Singh is the candidate of the guilty men of 1984. He represents the guilty party of 1984. And yet he wants to rake up 1984. Well, he's welcome to do that. If he wants to commit suicide, I'm not going to stop him from doing so. I haven't raked it up. He's raked it up.
But sir, what has been your stand as far as the Blue Star operation is concerned?
Well, I am dead opposed to terror. But the way this operation was carried out, history has proved it, that this was completely a botched up operation. It hurt the sentiment of the community. It damaged one of the most sacred religious places in the country.
But sir, when it comes to Godhra riots in 2002, obviously the court has acquitted Narendra Modi, and when we talk about 2002 riots, then people, obviously he's not a single evidence has been found against him, and here you have an ally, Shiromani Akali Dal. What is its stand when we talk about the 1984 riots? When
My stand and the Akali's stand is the same.
Okay.
Compare 2002 and 1984.
Okay.
In 2002, 300 people died in police firing.
Okay.
So the police was taking action.
Okay.
In 1984, not one man died. Therefore, the police was completely in collusion. In 2002, you've had 10 kinds of inquiries by police, by CBI, by SIT under supervision of court.
Right.
In 1984, you haven't had a single fair inquiry.
So when we talk about the riots, Prime Minister Manmohan Singh had offered his apology of what happened. But when we talk of Narendra Modi, then why does he always shirk from talking on Godhra?
Well, when there is no charge against
offering...
him, why should he apologize? He has clarified, if I am guilty,
Okay.
then you please charge me and execute me. But if merely to satisfy some newspaper or a television anchor, that all right, even if you're not guilty, please apologize.
No, but he's always seemed to be shying away from any kind of debate on Godhra.
Not at all. He has clearly said that we've taken action. But at the same time, if you want me to say that I am responsible for it, it's wrong. I'm not responsible for it. Thank you.
Our conversation with Mr. Jaitley continues. We've just stopped for a public meeting here.
Lawyers, businessmen, politicians and engineers are all there in SAT BJP's Amritsar Lok Sabha campaign for Arun Jaitley, micromanaging his long and exhaustive election campaign.
To build brand India, Narendra Modi says he'll focus on the 5 T's. That is talent, tradition, trade, tourism and technology. And it's exactly this vision which Arun Jaitley is trying to replicate before the people of Amritsar. Mr. Jaitley, in the morning you were saying that you're talking about issues like drug menace. But at the same time, we have ministers like Mr. Majithia whose names have been associated with the drug cartels. So how are you really going to contest?
3 PILs have been filed in the Punjab High Court. All have been dismissed. The matter has been investigated.
Okay.
Some accused just takes a name. Let this matter be investigated at any level. And if anyone is guilty, whether it's a minister or otherwise, he should be taken to task. But please, without a shred of evidence, let's not convert Indian media into an instrument of gossip mongering.
Amarinder Singh had also been talking about this issue, which is why the media is more interested in this. But at the same time...
Well, he accused in the first instance his own PCC president. He wrote a letter to the Sonia Gandhi saying, because he's against the PCC president, Bajwa, so Pratap Bajwa is also involved in drugs. So, these kind of statements, he might well be, I don't know. But then this has to be left for an honest and an independent, fair and tough investigation.
Okay, Mr. Jaitley, so we leave it for some other day then. But Mr. Amarinder Singh has also been raising the issue of property tax. And he says that there's a lot of resentment on the streets against
He is the villain of the
Akalis.
piece. He is responsible. On 7th December 2006, just 4 or 5 days before the Code of Conduct, he, as a chief minister, gave an undertaking to the central government on behalf of his government that from 30th September 2007, property tax will be levied in Punjab. Now, he did it curiously so that the next government has to do it. Mr. Badal deferred it for 6 years, and now the central government says we'll stop your grants under the urban renewal scheme till you honor the undertaking. So the creator of that undertaking is the captain himself.
But sir, do you mean to say that he's so naive that he didn't know that this thing will come out?
Well, some people still feel the king can do no wrong.
Okay. Okay, okay. Mr. Jaitley, coming to the national politics now, BJP came out with its manifesto pretty late, and there were I'm not getting into the details of what was said and what was not said, but what were the reasons of delay? What is the real...
Well, there was extensive discussion on certain issues. What's wrong in that? And after a lot of discussions, we settled most of the issues. What's wrong in
But
that?
a lot of disagreements were also there with the senior leaders?
Where is the question there? There are legitimate questions on which two views can be possible about drafting a particular item.
Okay.
After all, are there two views in any newspaper organization and what editorial to carry and what stand to take?
But sir, there's also a deep sense of alienation amongst the senior leaders. When I talk about senior leaders, it's leaders like Murli Manohar Joshi, Jaswant Singh.
Jaswant Singh is not a part of the party.
Okay, but now he's not a part of the party. But
He's
earlier,
alienated himself from the party, so I don't go into that.
Okay.
As far as Dr. Joshi are concerned, Mr. Advani are concerned, they are senior leaders. There is no question of any alienation. They enjoy the utmost trust as far as the party is concerned.
but sir, time and again we see things on the Twitter, coming out on the Twitter. They express some of their thoughts, and then
Well, I still haven't reached a stage where I think Twitter is a gospel truth.
Okay, but leaders still are expressing their views.
Yeah, they can express their views, but those views are not at variance with the party's views.
On the issues which had been listed out in the manifesto, for example, on Article 370, Gadkari today has said that Article 370 is the BJP's position, and it's not the NDA. It was not as an issue of the NDA.
That's correct. That's factually correct. What's wrong in stating that? You see, we believe in a particular ideology. There's a part of our conviction. Our alliance partners may not agree with that. That's possible. That's been done earlier also. If everybody agreed on every issue, then we'll be one party. We won't be two different parties.
But when BJP talks about things like Ram Mandir, is BJP actually going back to the Hindutva days?
As far as Ram Mandir is concerned, we've said there's a judgment of the full bench of the Allahabad High Court. And the issue should be decided either by a compromise between the parties or by a court verdict. What's wrong in that? Can anybody differ with that position?
So, what do you feel about the Aam Aadmi Party here in places like Amritsar and across India also? Do you really see it as a figure, as a potent
slight
force?
presence. They will get some vote, but I don't think they are going to win too many seats.
But in the earlier elections also, all the parties had grossly underestimated Aam Aadmi Party.
Well, every party writes its own script, and as far as the script of this party is concerned, I don't think they are going to win too many seats.
So in UP, we recently saw Amit Shah polarizing the votes. Then there was Rajnath Singh also, who met the Imams, and there were reports Sonia Gandhi meeting Bukhari. Do you think that polarization is the last resort which the political parties are taking to when the elections are on the...
Amit Shah had nothing to do with polarization. Amit Shah...
No, but when he makes revenge remarks and all, so what does it do?
Understand, let's start reading the full statement.
Okay.
He never said take revenge by violence. It's an incompetent government. Take your revenge against this government by voting against it. Well, from Barack Obama downwards, every candidate in an election says, defeat so-and-so and take your revenge by voting. How can voting and a revenge through voting be interpreted as anything which is unconscionable and improper? That's the dumb thing in a democracy.
And what about meetings like meetings with the Imams and the Bukharis?
If you ask a political party to be endorsed by a religious leader, I think there are serious questions. Okay. But if a candidate goes in his constituency to all religious denominations asking for support with folded hands, that's all candidates do.
Okay, so there's nothing wrong in it.
As a voter, you can approach anyone. But as a religion, if you tell somebody to endorse you, then questions will be raised.
The stakes are also high for Chief Minister Prakash Singh Badal because loss in Amritsar may cause an irreparable political loss to the sad BJP alliance. Badals are mincing no words to project Jaitley as the main voice of the centre.
BJP has carefully built its campaign in Amritsar around a mix of national and local issues. Arun Jaitley talks about the menace of drug addiction, particularly in Punjab's border villages. He talks about how to bring Amritsar on the IT and tourism map, and also how to ease the tax regime. I'm right now at a shop which serves a popular lassi in Amritsar. Let's talk to the people here about the electoral sentiments. सर आपका नाम क्या है?
लखविंदर सिंह।
अच्छा ये बताइए कि आपने पहले कभी इतना इंटरेस्टिंग चुनाव अमृतसर में देखा है?
नहीं देखा।
तो आप इस बार किसको वोट डालने वाले हो?
डॉक्टर दलजीत सिंह को।
किस पार्टी के?
आम आदमी पार्टी।
तो आपको बीजेपी और कांग्रेस दोनों को वोट नहीं डालना है?
नहीं डालना है।
क्यों?
हमने 3 बार सिद्धू को यहाँ से भेजा। उसने क्या किया अमृतसर वास्ते? अमृतसर के लिए क्या किया उसने? कुछ भी नहीं किया।
सर आप अमृतसर के रहने वाले हो?
हाँ जी।
अच्छा ये बताइए इस बार चुनाव में आपको क्या लग रहा है कि नेशनल इश्यूज की जीत होगी या लोकल मुद्दों की?
लोग महंगाई और भ्रष्टाचार से बहुत तंग है, तो पहले तो लोग मोदी को चाहते हैं, एक बार चेंज चाहते हैं।
As the battle gets shriller politically, Jaitley is trading verbal volleys on ties with Pakistan since the boundary of Amritsar extends right up to the international border with Pakistan. Jaitley also emphasizes on trade with the neighbouring country and says that if NDA comes to power, trade with Pakistan would be opened up and it would boost the economy of Punjab.
It's interesting to note how on these streets of Amritsar there is a talk of the message from the skies. People here say that when Jaitley began his campaign, it started off with a scare because the gas-filled balloons caught fire. But when Amarinder launched his campaign, it rained heavily. So in your speeches, you are consistently talking about the fact that there is a wave of anger in the people against the UPA government. But at the same time, you have senior leaders like Murli Manoj Joshi saying that there is no Modi wave, but there is a BJP wave.
This is splitting, madam. Where is the difference between the two? It's a Modi-led BJP campaign.
Okay.
So one overlaps the other, and it's synonymous with the other.
So are you saying that media is misreading it in any way and there's no departure at all from what?
You see, when the going is so well, the media has to play a little bit of a... I won't use the word spoiler, but media is normally can be adversarial, so they see a difference in the two. Okay. So it's a news for them. It's a news space for them. I don't blame them for it. But in my explanation, there is no difference between.
No, but sir, when I'm talking about Murli Manoj Joshi, there were resentments when the choice of the constituency was being laid out.
No resentment when Modi ji decided and we decided that Modi should contest from Varanasi.
Okay.
This was party's decision. Dr. Murli Manoj Joshi said, "I'll go to Kanpur," and by any stretch, Kanpur is a far stronger seat. He's very happy.
So you mean to say all is well between Modi ji and Murli Manoj Joshi ji?
Absolutely, there is no problem at all.
Okay, okay, agreed. So what you are saying. So initially when you came to Amritsar, the whole contest was seen as a cakewalk. But since the time Amarinder Singh has landed, do you think that things have become a little difficult for you as compared to earlier?
No, it's a challenging contest, and Amritsar is not an island which is separate from the national mood.
Okay.
And therefore, as the campaign is proceeding, I have not the least doubt that we will comfortably win.
But sir, I was going on the streets of Amritsar where little boys, teenagers and even the adults, they are talking about one thing which is quite hilarious, and that is your Punjabi diction. What do you really have to say on that?
Well, I speak Punjabi. I have spoken Punjabi since I was a child.
Okay.
And my Punjabi is actually the Maja Punjabi.
Okay.
It's not a, you see, Punjabi dialect. If you see, Ropar is different, Malwa is different, Doaba is different. In this part of Maja, I inherited this language from my parents, who both belong to the Maja area. And I speak this language here. Of course, having lived so long in Delhi, it may get a little urbanized.
But sir, here in Amritsar, there is a perception that when you go to the rural parts, with this dialect, you're not able to connect with the farmers, with the rural people.
Not in the least. You see, my Punjabi, in fact, people are quite surprised when they hear me speak such fluent Punjabi. I had been identified more with English public speaking or even Hindi public speaking. Okay. Certainly, it was a surprise to many that I can speak Punjabi so well, but I'm quite comfortable with Punjabi.
Okay.
On a lighter vein, my Punjabi accent is much better than Mrs. Sonia Gandhi's English, Hindi or Italian.
Okay, but who is more Amritsari? Is it Amarinder Singh or is it Mr. Jaitley?
Certainly me. He has nothing to do with Amritsar. He belongs to Patiala, which is not even a part of the Maja area. I have 100% Maja blood in my veins. He doesn't.
Okay, okay. Thank you so much, sir, Mr. Jaitley. Thank you so much for coming on to the point. The Lok Sabha contest of Amritsar in 2014 will be remembered in the political history as one of the live wire contests between BJP and Congress. Whoever is the winner will stake claim over the holy city for the next 5 years. But we'll have much to answer for in terms of development and progress. That's all we have time for. Goodbye and thanks for watching.